Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is the president, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad you're joining us today. The title of today's show is Paychecks and Playchecks: How to Secure Your Retirement Income, which is something we know you want to know how to do. Glenn, my friend, are you ready?
All I know is one thing. Let's go. So excited today. We're going to talk about that exciting time of life when you're finally done with work, right? And you're like, I don't want to work any longer. I'm through.
Yep.
But you know what? All of a sudden, you don't have a job.
Which means
you got to get income from somewhere. And then you reach out to a guy named Glenn, and we'll help you build an income plan. Many of you don't have income plans. Many of you don't know when you can retire. Many of you have no idea what to do.
Yes.
So we're here to help. That's what's great about what I do. It's let's retire sooner than later. And let's enjoy ourselves. Let's just really enjoy ourselves, because that's the most important thing in retirement is, if none of us had to work today, I don't think we would. It's always funny. People always say, I have to have something to do.
Right.
Well, I'd like to be on my boat every day. I'm only on the boat on the weekends, okay? Y'all will probably see me around Tampa Bay cruising around. It's called the Big Money Boat or something. Oh, it's Mr. Big. There we go, Mr. Big.
Right.
But yeah, we have such a good time on the weekends. But every weekend could be the rest of your life, right? We call them perfect days. Right? Yeah. So when clients come into my office, we sit down, I say, what does your perfect day look like? Well, I'd love to go cruising. Really? So when was a perfect day you did doing that? Well, I went down to Cozumel, or, we went on this cruise to Alaska. Well, let's have more of those days.
Right.
What's the greatest dinner you've ever had? Oh man, it was a Charlie's Steakhouse. It's one of my favorite places in Tampa. Shout out to Charlie's. But Fleming's, what's your favorite? Let's go there at least once a week, right? So let's plan to spend our money, but never run out, right? Did your advisor do that for you? Does he actually help you spend your money, but you never run out? If he doesn't, you need to talk to us. Get a second opinion. Let's share some cool ideas, some cool planning strategies that will make sure that you never have to go back to work.
Yep.
Right?
Unless you want to, that's a different story.
If you want to, you can, but we don't want you to have to go back to work. We want you to just truly enjoy your retirement.
Yes.
And let's enjoy it. Let's do it.
For sure. Well, you bring up some really good points that I wanted to unpack. One is that so many folks think that success in retirement is about how much money they've accumulated. What's my lump sum, right? And then there's this kind of default strategy of hope, which is not a strategy at all, of saying, well, I'll just withdraw money from that lump sum as I need it, and hopefully I won't run out of money, right?
Yes.
But you actually specialize as a retirement income planner, which so much of the financial services industry doesn't focus on. So explain the difference on what you do for folks versus what the majority of the industry is actually focused on.
Well, most of the industry is what we call accumulation advisors, right? So let's just accumulate your money. You go to them and you say, hey, when am I going to be able to retire, right? And they're going to say, well, based on the 4% rule, right? What do you need in income? Well, I need $80,000 a year, right? Well, you get to 2 million, right? That'll be your $80,000 a year. Then you can retire.
That's 4% of 2 million, right?
4% of 2 million is $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
But then the things start to unravel a little bit. Recent market volatility, right? 2000, 2008, right? If you lose half of your nest egg or half of that money, how can I keep pulling out $80,000 a year? You run the risk of running out of money. So this is what many accumulation advisors do. So sit down with a retirement planning advisor, someone that's going to focus on retirement planning. Someone's going to focus on getting you a guarantee check, a guaranteed income check that's always going to hit your bank account that covers you and your spouse. And then we're going to have some play money as well, right? Because the play money's out there to play with. Let's go spend that and enjoy it. And we can also look at some really good, say, top 30 S&P companies, some large cap companies, owned individual equity positions in those companies, right?
Right.
So there's no fees in individual equity positions, like many of you are in what they call mutual funds that have a lot of fees and a lot of cost in those. So if I'm going to have, money in the market, I want to look at some of the large cap companies. I want to try to get away from the mid caps, the small caps, the international, get away from the bonds. And I want to use something like a fixed or fixed indexed annuity to provide me with the guarantees, of course, by the claims paying ability of the life insurance company.
Right.
You want to make sure they're a big, strong company. But a lot of life insurance companies can provide you that bond alternative. They can provide you that guaranteed income that you're always going to need. And like I said before on many shows, when people come into the office and they have these really nice big pensions, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month hitting their bank account, guaranteed the rest of their lives, those people are happy in a lot of cases.
Well, that stress is removed because they know where their income is coming from in retirement. That's the difference. Right?
Yes. And then a lot of them don't spend all of that. So they'll take some and they'll park it aside and they'll save it into some different vehicles, maybe in the markets, maybe in some type of institutional account that has some growth to it. So there's so many different opportunities, but you have to sit down with someone that's a professional that does this. And many of you out there have old 401ks with old jobs, right? You've got a 401k you're currently in right now that you're contributing to, right? There may be rollover options that could be available to you to where you can roll those monies over with no taxes, right? And take that money and plan what you want to do with it.
Right.
Yep. See the exact income that you expect to receive at a certain date, if it's now or in the future. And some of those plans we're talking about, some of those guaranteed contracts with those annuity companies are able to show that to you. So I know exactly what I can get at the exact time. It gives you the peace and the comfort. Now, does everybody need to get into annuities? No. A lot of people, if they have a great managed portfolio, they can have dividends that'll generate enough income for them. Right?
Yep.
If they're okay with the little market volatility like we've seen, the markets may actually perform a little bit better over time than maybe using that tool, say that's a fixed or
Which
fixed
can help
indexed.
keep up with inflation too when you have that additional growth.
Yes. So, I'm not saying that everyone needs to have an annuity or everyone needs to be in the market.
Right.
But you need to look at the whole picture.
Yes.
And you need to understand and you need to be educated on this. And that's what we do. We will sit down, educate you, give you copies, let you review things. 2 or 3 meetings later, you become a client and you're happy. And you come in the office and you say, let's go. That's what we want you to say.
Yes, for sure. Well, I'm excited for more folks to get to connect with you. And of course, we have a lot to discuss today on this subject of how to secure your retirement income. But if this is resonating with you, or maybe you're already working with another financial advisor, but they're not having these kinds of conversations with you, it could be that the advisor that got you to this point may not be the right advisor to help you in this next phase of your life. Allow Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services to provide you that complimentary second opinion, because as we always say, you can't get a second opinion from the same person who gave you the first. So if you would like to come in and sit down and receive your complimentary written financial plan, it starts with you picking up the phone and making this important phone call. 888-503-7408 is the number to call, or you're welcome to connect online by scanning that QR code, and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more on how to secure your retirement income paycheck and playcheck right after this.
Office culture is that we're all a family. We just love working together. And, I had a lady the other day that said, hey, look, I really want to work with, more of a female advisor, or whenever I call in, and I said to her, well, let me show you the website, and most of our staff is female. That just love working with clients. And we're here, we're here for you. And the culture of our office is more of a family type of atmosphere. We care about the clients first. We want to make sure they're taken care of. We want to treat everyone with respect. We want to follow up when clients reach out to us. We want to send those flowers if they lose a loved one. We want to send a nice card. We want to be there for them. These are the kind of things that make us different and set us apart. As Americans, we strive for better. From a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. Better has become the American way. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income? A flexible lifestyle? Better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary written financial plan, call the number you see here. You only retire once, and this is your opportunity to plan for better.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with Glenn Cummings, the president of Big Financial Services. We're so glad you're joining us today. As we said earlier, the title of today's show is Paychecks and Playchecks, How to Secure Your Retirement Income. And we want to give credit where credit is due. This phrase, paychecks and playchecks, was originally coined by a man named Tom Hegna, who, Glenn, as you know, is an award-winning author, economist, retirement income expert. And really, this phrase helps people understand that you need to build not only the paycheck bucket, meaning the guaranteed income you need to meet all of your expenses and what you need, but it's so important to have fun in retirement. And this is why you need a paycheck bucket, right? To do all the fun things that you want to do. And it's important to distinguish between those two buckets of money.
It is. And you know, the other thing that really can affect that paycheck or the paycheck is many of us own 401ks, we talked about those, IRAs, 403bs. These are called qualified retirement plans where we tax deduct our contributions to these.
While we're working,
While we're working, and they build and they get nice and big. But then every dollar that we withdraw from those is fully taxable.
Right, because they're also known as tax deferred accounts, meaning we have not yet paid any tax on that money that's been accumulating in there.
Yes, and I think that in a lot of cases, when we sit down with people that have 401ks, IRAs, and we share with them how to take those and turn them into a tax-free income, right? Through what they call Roth conversions, right? And these are things you have to understand, we'll teach you, right? But as long as I can convert through a Roth conversion and I own that Roth for at least 5 years, I'm able to then take tax-free distributions. So you want to talk about play money. Okay. You know, if every dollar you pull out is not taxed, you're a lot happier of a human being. Than knowing that 20-30% of every dollar you pull out is like going to a nice expensive restaurant and always having to tip that 20% to that person, right?
For sure.
That's the IRS that you're always going to tip the rest of your life. Stop tipping the IRS.
Right. We don't want you to pay any more to the IRS than you're legally required to pay, right?
Yes. So there are legal ways to take these 401ks and IRAs and move them into tax-free accounts. Another thing that people don't realize as well is if you have money sitting in the bank, non-qualified money, which is money that's non-IRA, you've already paid all the taxes on it, right? Or you have brokerage, non-qualified brokerage accounts or trust accounts. You're paying long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains, if the money's in the market, right? If your money's sitting in a bank or in a CD or money market account, you're paying taxes on the interest earnings of those. One of the strategies, we talked about annuities earlier, is a simple non-qualified fixed or fixed indexed annuity. And the benefit of that is I'm able to defer those taxes, right? Which allows the money to get larger, okay? But I also have a cost basis, which is my initial investment into these, that's never taxed. Got it? So, you know, I can help and avoid a lot of the taxation on that money, and I'm not required to take required minimum distributions, which you're going to have to take on IRAs, 401ks, 403bs. So you want to try to get away from those. You want to try to look at other alternatives. And if your advisor is not sharing these things with you, give us a call.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, the point is that a lot of advisory firms out there aren't allowed to have specifically the tax planning conversation with
Yep.
their clients, but you are because you're independent, you're a fiduciary, you have that legal and ethical obligation to always serve the client's best interests. And I know you've created an incredible resource that previously
Incredible.
was only available to existing clients of Big Financial Services, but you felt very strongly that you wanted to open it up to our television viewers as well. And of course, what we're talking about is something known as the Retirement Tax Bill Calculator. So we're going to put this website here for you on the bottom of your screen. As you can see, bigtaxbill.com. You can get there by going to that site or scanning that QR code. Glenn, before we walk folks through what they're going to see when they visit the site, why don't you just share a few words about what this is and why you're so excited to share it with our viewers?
Well, it's simplicity. Okay. How much do I have in IRAs? What's my current age? What's the average rate of return that my portfolio has made? And what's my tax bracket? Right? So it's able to take that money, put it into this calculator, and it's able to show you the huge, horrendous, possibly, tax problem you're going to have in the future.
Exactly.
That not only you're going to have when you take out income, but when I pass away, if it goes to my spouse, she's then taxed. It goes to my children, now they're taxed, right?
It's a problem that follows you long
it
after.
follows you,
Yep.
continually follows you. So, but they're able to do this. And you know what's nice as well is a lot of people, when you see these things on TV, you know, you click a button, you go in there and you do it, and all of a sudden you get someone calling you 25 times a day. We're not going to call you, period. If you go to that calculator, you can simply type in the information within 6 minutes, right? Of you typing in the basic information, you will have a report to your email. You're welcome to schedule a meeting if you'd like, but if you don't schedule a meeting, that's fine as well.
Right. There's no strings
Take
attached.
advantage of this.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Well,
available for everyone, and people are loving this.
Yes, for sure. It's very eye-opening. So again, we invite you. We know your smartphone's probably sitting right there. Pick it up, go to the site, bigtaxbill.com, or scan that QR code, and here is what you're going to see. As Glenn mentioned, it is this basic landing page. You'll put in
Oh,
a
you've got it
few
all
pieces
right
of
there.
information. Yes,
Easy.
we love having the visuals, right?
Yes.
So your name, your age, the email address you want that report sent to. You'll notice those little sliders you can play around with at the bottom. You can adjust what your assumed tax liability might be along with your assumed growth rate. And as Glenn said, the key is how much money you have saved up in these tax deferred accounts. For you, that could be a traditional 401k, 403b, or a traditional IRA. Then once you click submit, two things are going to happen. Instantly, you'll see side by side the difference between the government's tax plan for you there on the left if you do nothing and take no action versus how much less you could pay in tax there on the right-hand side of your screen. But then you're also going to receive within a matter of minutes a 4-page report sent to you. This is a screenshot of 1 page of that report that will show you the breakdown of the numbers. And Glenn, this just blows me away. Again, this example, this person had $500,000 saved up in their tax deferred bucket. They were assuming 25% tax liability and 8% growth rate. Look at those numbers on the bottom level.
It's staggering. And the thing about it is what people don't realize is as those accounts continue to grow, your tax liability continues to grow.
Your tax bill just continues to go up.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know about you folks, but I don't want my silent partner, which is the IRS, to be involved in my IRAs.
Right, because your IRA is going to become an IOU to the IRS.
It
right?
is, yes. And you've got to get out of these things.
Yeah.
You've got to look at the future benefits of trying to create a tax-free income. Because here's the other problem. We don't know when taxes are going to go up.
Right. Yep.
And I don't think they're going to go down anytime soon. We've got, you know, this huge national debt. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Well, we're in the 3rd lowest tax brackets that we've been in the history of our country right now. Yeah.
The history.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned that one show. I think it was 1913 and 1983. I think that period of time, I guess the highest tax rates averaged over 70%. Now, I'm not saying we're going back there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just saying that if I have a silent partner that's always going to have his hand in my IRAs and he can raise those taxes, or I know for a fact, If I pass away and my spouse is still alive, she's going to have to pay higher taxes as a single taxpayer.
Yep.
I would rather give her a tax-free account. I would rather give my children a tax-free account.
Yes. Yep.
Very, very important. We
For
can share
sure.
that with you.
Well,
and this tax calculator is amazing.
I know. And I'm
Try it
sure
out.
once folks see those numbers, we're pretty confident you're going to want to reach out and say, help me figure out how I can put some of these tax saving strategies to work for myself. So again, we encourage you to visit bigtaxbill.com, scan that QR code. You'll be able to receive that complimentary report. And as Glenn said, if you would like to take the next step and have a conversation to see what strategies might make sense for you to potentially lower your tax bill in retirement, we invite you to connect for that complimentary meeting to receive your very own complimentary written financial plan. That number to call to schedule yours is 888-503-7408, or you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
So you have a 401k with a former employer. Great, fantastic. You know, that means you've been able to accumulate some wealth, it's growing. But the problem is you don't have a lot of investment options that may be available to you except for what's in that 401k. So what's the best option that we see in a lot of cases? For clients to simply roll that over. No taxes, they simply roll that over to another IRA if you have an IRA account. And once that money rolls over, you can look at other options that may be available that you're not even aware of. Sit down with a professional, someone that can help you look over that 401k and either stay in the current plan or look to roll that over to where you may have better options that may help improve your retirement in the future. Look at reducing those taxes, look at getting a great income plan. That's something our company loves to do for folks. We'd love to share them with you. Please give us a call today. Did you know Uncle Sam might be your partner in retirement? It's true. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, a pension, or other similar retirement accounts, they're all tax targets. But how much? To get an easy-to-use tax calculator and to find out your potential tax liability, scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with Glenn Cummings, and a great conversation we've been having today all about building your retirement income paycheck for the things that you need in retirement, but also your playcheck for the things that you want to do. And really, that's what this is all about at the end of the day, making sure people can live out their retirement dreams. If you're just tuning in and joining us, we've also offered this incredible resource completely complimentary to you that we encourage you, if you have not yet gone to visit it, what are you waiting for? Pick up your smartphone, simply go to bigtaxbill.com or scan that QR code. It will give you an idea in a matter of minutes of what your potential tax bill might be in retirement, what the government's tax plan is for you if you do nothing versus how much less you could pay in tax if you enact some of the tax saving strategies that Glenn talks about on the show each and every week. And as we said, Glenn, once you see those numbers and that difference, you can't unsee it. But I'm curious because a lot of folks might be going, okay, I have worked with another financial advisor for years and they've never talked to me about Roth conversions. They've never talked to me about my potential tax bill in retirement. Why is that, and what makes you and the team of Big Financial Services so different in this space?
Well, in my opinion, what I've seen by doing all these different analysis and sharing all these things with clients is there's a little bit of a conflict of interest in a lot of cases, right? You know, if you are paid a commission or you're paid fees on the portfolios you manage, if a client were to say pay the tax on those and convert them over to a Roth account,
right?
There's going to be less money
for that advisor to manage,
right? And the other thing as well is a lot of them are just lazy. They're just lazy. They could care less to improve your personal tax situation. They really could care less from what I've seen, you know?
And some firms even tell them they can't have that conversation, right? Because it's not in that company's best interest. They want to keep more of that money, right?
They want to keep more of that money. And the other thing I see a lot as well is when I visit with client CPAs, and I share some of my planning strategies, those CPAs are like, my gosh, this is amazing. People will go to bigtaxbill.com, they'll type in those basic simple numbers, they'll take that report and they'll bring it to their CPA, and the CPA is blown away. This is a great tax calculator, because most CPAs, right, people that do taxes, focus on current tax liabilities. They don't focus on future tax liabilities. Right?
Yep.
So if you don't focus on future tax liabilities, you're really missing the boat. You're missing the boat. You're missing the opportunity. Because I can tell you, I have clients that have all of their money in these Roth accounts, and they're not forced to take distributions like required minimums, like IRAs require you to take. They're having tax-free income coming out when they travel, tax-free income coming out when they're buying a new house. How would you like to go buy a car, right? And you're like, I like to pay cash. Okay, well, if you take $50,000, $60,000 out of an IRA, that now puts you into another tax bracket.
Right.
Yep. Right? And now you got to pay higher Social Security tax possibly, and Medicare. And it just really affects everything. And oh, by the way, you got to take 20 to 30% of that distribution and send it to the IRS every time you do it, right? So Roth conversions are very, very powerful. And if you can have someone that'll sit down with you and share this with you, we're going to do it. We'll share with you how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and no doubt, once folks visit bigtaxbill.com and you're able to see those numbers for yourself, a lot of folks are going to say, please help, right? Here's my report. And just a reminder, here's a screenshot of one page of that 4-page report that you will receive when you visit that site today. You're going to be able to see the breakdown of your numbers, what that could look like for you. Again, just a reminder on the left-hand side, what the government's tax plan is for you if you do nothing, versus on the right-hand side.
Look at the bottom, $1.6 million.
Versus how much less you could pay, $125,000.
I mean,
it's insane.
It's really common sense, but here's the thing, folks. You're at home and you're going to procrastinate. You're not going to go and type this in. Most people, you're going to watch the show and then you're going to go on to watch something else, okay? Don't procrastinate. Go get that free tax calculator. See how much you're going to pay. Let's figure out how to take care of these tax problems. Do something for your family. Please do something for your family. Get rid of the IRS.
Yes, remove Uncle Sam from the equation, right?
Please get rid of them.
Oh, well, Glenn, thank you so much. And here's the good news for all of you watching. You don't have to settle for the government's tax plan for you. You can be the architect of your own tax plan, but it starts with you reaching out, connecting with Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services to have them put together this comprehensive written financial plan for you. That number to call to claim yours is 888-503-7408. Or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to being back with you next time here on The Big Money Show.